It was a quiet afternoon, with sunlight streaming softly through the curtains of their shared home. Jungkook was lounging on the living room sofa, scrolling through his phone when a devilish idea popped into his head. He smirked, recalling YN's panicked face the last time he'd pranked her by pretending to lose her favorite necklace. But today, he wanted to up the stakes. "Let's see how you handle this, Mrs. Jaeon," he muttered to himself, pulling up the fake divorce papers template on his laptop. His plan was simple. He'd casually place the divorce papers in front of YN when she got home, act all serious and distant, and watch her reaction. He knew she'd probably get angry, maybe cry a little, but it'd all be worth it to see her flustered, only to reveal at the end that it was just a joke. After printing out the papers and signing his name with a flourish, he leaned back, admiring his handiwork. This is going to be priceless. The front door creaked open, and YN stepped inside, carrying a few grocery bags. Jungkook stood up immediately, his face set in a stern expression. He walked over, silently taking the bags from her and setting them on the kitchen counter. "Hey, everything okay?" YN asked, raising an eyebrow at his unusually serious demeanor. "Yeah, we need to talk," he replied, keeping his voice low and somber. YN frowned, sensing something off. "What's going on, Jungkook?" Wordlessly, Jungkook turned around, picked up the fake divorce papers from the coffee table, and handed them to her. YN's eyes widened as she looked down at the neatly printed document in her hands. "What the hell is this?" she whispered, her voice strained with shock. "It's..." Jungkook took a deep breath, trying to maintain his composure as he continued the charade. "I think we should separate." YN's gaze darted from the papers to his face, searching for any sign that he was kidding. But Jungkook had his game face on, serious, eyes cast downward, shoulders slumped in mock resignation. I don't understand," she stammered, her throat tightening. "Why would you want a divorce? Did I do something wrong? Are you unhappy?" Jungkook clenched his jaw, fighting back the grin threatening to break free. "It's not about you. I need space. I feel like we're drifting apart, and maybe it's better if we go our separate ways. And actually I am into someone else now. I don't think I can continue this, I really want her now." The silence that followed was suffocating. YN's face paled, her hands trembling as she held the papers. Her heart felt like it was being crushed under the weight of his words. "This can't be real," she whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. "You can't be serious, Jungkook. We're not drifting apart. We're married. We love each other." Jungkook watched her intently, his heart giving a small pang of guilt as he saw the tears spill down her cheeks. Maybe this had gone too far. Maybe he should end it now. "Just sign it, YN," he said softly, stepping back. "Let's make this easier for both of us." YN looked at him, disbelief and heartbreak mingling in her gaze. And then, just like that, the tears stopped. She took a deep breath, squared her shoulders, and looked at him with a strange calmness. "Fine," she said quietly, her voice suddenly steady. "If that's what you want, then I'll sign it." Jungkook blinked, completely caught off guard by her sudden composure. "Wait, YN, But she'd already turned on her heel, striding toward the kitchen. Jungkook followed, confused and slightly panicked. "What are you doing?" YN didn't answer. She reached into a drawer and pulled out a small container of white pills. Jungkook's eyes widened in horror. "YN, what the hell are you doing?" he shouted, his voice rising in panic. She didn't respond. Instead, she fumbled with the lid, her hands still shaking slightly. Before Jungkook could even think, she popped open the container and tossed several pills into her mouth. "YN, stop!" Jungkook lunged forward, grabbing her wrist. He tried to pry her mouth open, but it was too late, she'd already swallowed them. "What did you take? What was that?" YN gasped, clutching her chest dramatically. She swayed on her feet, then collapsed against the counter, her eyes fluttering shut. "YN." Jungkook's voice broke, pure terror flooding his veins as he caught her before she hit the ground. He dropped to his knees, cradling her in his arms as tears streamed down his face. No, baby, wake up. Please, 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 what did you take?" He shook her gently, his hands trembling. "YN, I'm sorry. It was just a joke, okay? The divorce papers, they were fake. I was just trying to prank you. Please, wake up. Please don't do this." YN's breathing slowed, and Jungkook's heart nearly stopped. He grabbed his phone with shaky hands, fumbling to dial 911 when. "Jungkook, Her voice was barely a whisper, but it made him freeze. Slowly, he looked down at her. YN's eyes fluttered open, a small, cheeky smile tugging at her lips. "I got you," she murmured weakly. Jungkook stared at her, uncomprehending. What? YN let out a soft, breathy laugh. "Those were just vitamins. I'm fine." The phone slipped from Jungkook's hand, clattering onto the kitchen floor. He continued to stare at her, his mind reeling. "You're, what? I knew you were pranking me," she admitted with a triumphant smile. "So I turned it around. How does it feel to be on the other end, huh?" Jungkook's eyes filled with tears, real ones this time, as the relief crashed over him like a tidal wave. "You're okay," he whispered, his voice trembling. "Yeah," she said softly, reaching up to brush his tears away. "I'm okay, Jungkook, but don't you ever, pull a stunt like that on me again." Jungkook let out a choked laugh, then crushed her against his chest, burying his face in her hair. "I'm so sorry, YN. I didn't mean to scare you. I thought it'd be funny, but, God, I'm such an idiot." "Yeah, you are," she murmured, hugging him back just as tightly. "But you're my idiot. Just don't do that again, okay? Divorce isn't something to joke about." "I won't," he promised, his voice thick with emotion. He pulled back slightly, cupping her face in his hands as he looked into her eyes. "I love you so much. I'm so sorry." YN smiled softly, leaning into his touch. "I love you too, but if you ever try to prank me like that again, I'll make you regret it." Jungkook laughed, the sound filled with relief and love. "Deal." And with that, he leaned down and kissed her, slowly, deeply, pouring every ounce of his love and apology into the kiss, vowing silently to never take their relationship for granted again. Later that night, as they lay entwined in each other's arms, Jungkook sighed softly, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on YN's back. "You really scared me today, you know that," he murmured. YN chuckled, snuggling closer. "Yeah, well, now you know how I felt when you handed me those papers." "Never again," he whispered, kissing the top of her head. "I'll come up with better pranks. Like pretending to take my last piece of cake," she teased. "Exactly." He grinned, tightening his hold around her. "Nothing that could ever make me risk losing you again." "Good." YN closed her eyes, a content smile on her lips. "Because you're stuck with me for life, Jaeon Jungkook. And I wouldn't have it any other way," he whispered, holding her close as they both drifted off to sleep, more in love than ever.